Congratulations on the purchase of your new handsome She-Devil bike. What a bike! But you probably want to ride it, huh? Well, we definitely want to help you, so let's get started. I am the narrator, and this is Mia. I'll say some things, Mia will put my awesome words into context, and you'll be processing that while making a bike. Go at your own pace. Pause, rewind, do what's comfortable. We'll be covering the installation of your handlebars, front wheel, front brake, pedals, seat posts, and all the final adjustments. Alright, well, let's get to it. You should have a small box of parts and a partially assembled bike. Open the box with the scissors. Mia's being extra careful. You should too. So, what do we have? A saddle, a seat post, grease, reflectors, reflector brackets, and the bolts, a quick-release skewer, pedal washers, pedals. If you can't find a part, look again. If you still can't find it, contact us at handsomecycles.com and we will certainly resolve the issue. If you do not have a bike stand, we encourage you to find a friend to help keep your bike stable through this whole process. Alright, let's remove all that packaging. To begin, we're going to squeeze the front brake together and spin around the fork and stem. Next, using a 5mm Allen wrench, remove the faceplate of the stem. Move the rear brake cable onto the side of the stem that is the non-drive side. Center your handlebars in the stem, making sure that the cables are not twisted, and reinstall the faceplate. Before we move on, let's make our lives a little easier and tighten the stem pinch bolts. We'll do the fine-tuning later, so don't worry about tightening everything all the way. Find the direction of the arrow on the side of the tire. This will tell you which way to install. Next, let's install the quick-release skewer. Unscrew the smaller end and remove one of the springs. Then, with the wheel in front of you and the arrows pointing forward, insert the skewer on the left side or non-drive side. Slide the spring back on the skewer's small end first. Then thread the skewer nut back on. Now remove the plastic protector from the front dropout and place the front wheel in the fork. Center it by using the small hole in the fork crown right above the tire. Tighten the nut until the lever has resistance at halfway closed. Then flip the skewer all the way closed. Grab a 5mm Allen wrench and loosen the bolts on the back of the brake pads. Align the brake pads with the rim so it hits the rim braking surface and does not contact the tire. The brake pad should be ever so slightly tilted in, so that the front of the pad makes contact with the rim before the rear does. This will help prevent that annoying squeaking sound. Tighten the bolt on the brake pad while making sure it doesn't come out of alignment. Pull back the rubber sleeve. Insert the noodle into the brake arm carrier. Make sure it slides all the way through to the stop. Loosen the nut on the brake arm that holds the brake cable. Slide the cable through so that the pads are about ½ centimeter away from the rim. While holding the cable in place, retighten the bolt, making sure that cable is in the brake arm groove. Now tuck the cable back behind the brake arm. This next step may be unnecessary if your brakes are already centered. The pads should hit the rim at the same time. If they do not, use a Phillips head screwdriver and tighten the screw on the brake arm of the side where the pad is closest to the rim. Squeeze your brakes and make sure they feel good. Your brakes shouldn't feel too tight or too squishy, and both pads should hit the rim at the same time. For a more detailed look, check out our brake adjustment tutorial. pedals are left and right specific, so make sure you install the right pedal on the right side, the drive side, and the left on the non-drive side. Put one washer on each pedal, and then put a generous dab of grease on the threads. This is very important. Before you install, please note that the right pedal is regular threaded and the left pedal is reverse threaded. Now grab a 15mm wrench and install the pedals. If you encounter significant resistance or the pedal does not seem to be going on straight, back it off immediately and start again. Thread each pedal until completely tight with the wrench. Grab the grease and put a generous dab where the seat post will go. Use a 5mm Allen wrench to loosen the bolt on the seat post clamp and insert the seat post. Now grab a 6mm Allen wrench and loosen the bolt of the seat post. Pivot the top plate 90 degrees and place the seat rails in the grooves on the lower plate of the seat post. Then pivot the top plate back 90 degrees and tighten it back up. For all of our adjustments, we'll need a 4mm, 5mm, or 6mm Allen wrench. To find the proper height of your seat post, locate your pelvic bone or your hip bone and set it to that height. This is a good way to estimate where your seat should be as you ride, but it may need some fine-tuning. Once you have it set, sit on the seat and check your leg extension by pedaling backwards. When the pedal is at the bottom of the rotation, you should have a slight bend in your knees, but never fully lock them out. Be careful during this step, as we haven't completely tightened everything down. You can also adjust the seat angle to your preference by simply loosening the screw and changing the angle or placement of the seat. Stand over the bike, taking hold of the handlebars. Adjust them to your preference and secure the bars by tightening the faceplate. Make sure that the bars are still centered in the stem. Now, let's check the angle of the brake and shift levers. If they don't feel comfortable to you, loosen the bolts on the underside of the brake and shift levers. They should be comfortable and easy for you to reach while you're riding. Once you have them set, retighten the bolt on the underside of the levers and shifter. One last check. Make sure everything is centered and aligned. Be sure to go through and check every bolt and both pedals until everything is completely tightened. Twist at the bars, push on the levers, attempt to twist the saddle, nothing should move. Now it's time to pump up those tires. Remove the dust cap. Spin the nut counterclockwise and press with your finger to break the air seal. We suggest keeping your tires at 85 psi at all time, as it will decrease your chances of getting a flat. When completed, spin the nut clockwise and put the dust cap back on. Finally, the drop test. Make sure there is minimal rattle and everything stays in place. If you have any questions, concerns, or if something doesn't feel quite right, reach out to us or see our other online tutorials. And there you have it. You just assembled your handsome she-devil. Now get out of here and go ride it.